Hey friend, I want to tell you a story. There are two men born 1 year and 8 days apart, same sun sign, same Mercury sign, and today they are the public faces behind one of the fastest growing communities platforms on the internet. Yes, Skool. I'm talking about Sam Ovens and Alex Hormozi. And when I pulled their birth charts side by side and ran them through the lens of personal brand astrology, what I found was really fascinating. So stay with me because by the end of this video, you're going to see how your own brand, your own voice, and your own business partnerships in a completely different way. And before we get into the charts, if you're a coach, you're a healer, creator, or entrepreneur, building a heart-led business, I want to invite you into the Business Astrology Hub on Skool. It is where we take this kind of work very seriously and also very fun, astrology applied to your personal brand and business, and go deeper live every single week. We are now ranked number 44 in spirituality with over 500 members. The link is in the description. It is questmystic.com/school. So let's talk about Alex and Sam. All right, so if you're in the online business space, you already know these names, I believe, but let me give you the quick version. So Sam here is the founder of consulting.com. He's one of the most successful online consulting, I should say, education businesses ever built. He is known for his obsessive focus on systems, simplicity, and removing everything that does not work. He's not really loud about things. No, I'm not saying that he's loud. He is very precise. Whereas Alex Hormozi here is the founder of acquisition.com and the author of $100 million offers and $100 million leads. Books that have become required reading in some places, I would say, in the online business world. He's, and certainly referenced, he's known for his aggressive output, his directness, and his philosophy of giving away so much value that people feel compelled to work with you. All right. And in 2019, Sam and Daniel Kang founded Skool. And in 2024, Alex Hormozi partnered with the company. Today, both Sam and Alex are the public faces of a community platform designed to replace the fragmented mess and really more than just fragmented, but we won't go there, of Facebook groups, Slack channels, and course platforms with one clean, gamified, community first experience. So here's where things get really interesting. We talked about who they are. All right. So, what is the combination? What is the relationship between the two? So, Sam Ovens was born on August 10th, 1989, and Alex Hormozi was born on August 18th, 1988. So, just 1 year and 8 days apart. This makes them both have a sun in Leo, with both having Mercury in Virgo. Now, is that common for suns in Leos to also have a Mercury in Virgo? No, that actually is something that is a potential, all right, because the Mercury follows along with the sun and could be one of three signs depending on the sun sign. Now, both also have Venus in Virgo. Both have Pluto in Scorpio. Pluto in Scorpio makes sense because that is more of a generational planet than, say, Venus, Mercury, and Sun. And when I looked at this, I saw a pattern that makes this business partnership very interesting. And I wanted to pay a little bit more attention because the charts don't lie, okay? They tell us the potentials, but they rarely lie. So let me show you what each of these placements means for their brand and then show you where they diverge. And so, in personal brand astrology, the sun is the brand center. It is what you stand for, it is what people remember, it is the kind of leadership people feel from you. Your sun answers the question of who are you in your work? What do you want your name linked with? What is your main message? Okay. Both Sam and Alex have Sun in Leos. Leo's the sign of the creator, the performer, the leader who shows up fully and takes the stage. Leo's brand's role is around identity, authority, visibility, and purpose. And here's what most people miss out about Leo. Leo's not just about being seen, it is also about giving light because it is ruled by the sun, and the sun illuminates everything around it. And Leo sun brands don't just attract, okay? They don't just attract attention. It creates a stage from which they can invite others around them into what they're doing. So, looking at what both Sam and Alex have done here, they have built massive audiences by giving away their best knowledge freely, right? That's what they were really known for originally. Of course, they're not always giving things for free because they have businesses built around them. Sam Ovens built his consulting brand by publicly teaching his methods and frameworks before turning them into paid programs. Alex has made the core frameworks of 100 million offers widely available through both free and shipping only type of distribution of, pay and then you get this type of deal. That is the Leo sun as a brand center. The message is not just look at me. The message is let me show you what I know. The authority is very generous in this case. The visibility serves the audience needs. So same sun, same brand center for both of them, and same core message. I am here to lead and I will give you everything I have. Of course, they're not just giving it away. They're also charging for it. Now, Mercury in Virgo. Mercury in Virgo is all about the voice, okay? Well, let me rephrase that. In brand astrology, Mercury is the voice, all right? It rules how you speak, how you write, teach, explain, market, and sell. Mercury answers the question of how do you sound? How do you explain your work? What type of content fits your mind? How do you want to share what you know out there, and in what way? Mercury's brand's role is messaging, content, sales language, and teaching style. Both Sam and Alex have Mercury and Virgo. So this speaks to a voice of precision. It doesn't do vagueness. That would be Pisces. It doesn't just do vibes, okay? It wants to know exactly how something works and then it wants to explain it in the clearest, most structured way possible. Mercury in Virgo is the framework builder, the person who takes complex ideas and breaks them down into something that is very repeatable, step by step systems that anyone can follow. Now, look at what Sam and Alex have built. Sam Ovens built an entire consulting education business around one framework, the consulting process, broken into precise, repeatable steps. His content wasn't just inspirational, it is instructional. His voice is very surgical in the way, or precision, as I should say, with Virgo. That is Mercury in Virgo. Alex, on the other hand, built a brand around frameworks, the value equation, the Grand Slam offer, the lead magnet formula. Every piece of content he produces is around a system. His voice is direct and very structured, very precise. That is Mercury in Virgo. They are not just smart individuals, they are Virgo Mercury smart, which means they cannot help but organize everything into a teachable structure. And their content, their brand, their things that they offer is not just useful, it is replicable, repeatable, right? They can repeat it, replicate it, and share that over and over and over. And that's why it spreads. Same Mercury, same sign, same style of working out there. Here's the framework, here's how it works, here's how you apply it. And you see that in all of the content that they share at this point. Now, what about the next piece? This is the Mars, all right? So Mars is a different part. This is where we look to see how we take initiative. So here's where the things really start to diverge for them. This is where the partnership gets really interesting because in personal brand astrology, Mars is your edge. It shows you how you take action, lead, promote your work, and hold boundaries. Mars answers the question of how do you launch, how do you sell, how do you handle pressure and conflict. Mars brand's role is drive, action, boldness, and boundaries. Sam Ovens has Mars in Virgo, while Alex has Mars in Aries. Those are two completely different edges. Mars for Sam takes action action through refinement. It's methodical, systematic, patient. It does not launch until it's ready. It's built slowly and thoroughly. It removes everything that is not essential, and Sam's edge is truly not in the space of aggression. It's precision under pressure, and he will likely spend 6 months rebuilding a system from scratch to make it 10% more efficient. His launches are not just loud things; they are exact, and that is the beauty of Mars in Virgo. How about Mars in Aries? Now, this would be Alex's world. He takes action through speed. He is the first mover. It acts before it really is ready. It publishes, ships, launches, and iterates in public, right? It doesn't necessarily need to take all the second thoughts or the precision work that Sam does. So this is much more aggressive in the best possible way. Alex has said publicly that he publishes more than almost anyone in his space, not because he is perfect, no, because he likes to move fast. He feels good when he's just letting things go, boom, right out the door, right? His edge is volume and velocity, and that is truly Mars in Aries. So together, you get a system that they have created, a platform, all right, that is both fast and precise. Mars in Virgo ensures the product is refined and intentional, while Mars in Aries is like, just ship it, make it happen, let's scale it, let's go. All right. That is not an accident. That's a complementary edge that they share. Now, what about the next piece, which is Jupiter? This is a one that I wanted to share as well because this is Jupiter in Cancer versus Jupiter in Gemini, right? Jupiter is your reach when it comes to brand astrology. It shows what you teach, what you believe, where growth expands through trust and meaning. Jupiter answers the big idea of what are you known for? What does your audience grow from? Where does it grow from? What belief does your brand actually lift and provide? All right, so Jupiter's brand role is expansion, thought leadership, teaching, and reach. So Sam's uh, Jupiter is in Cancer and Alex is in Gemini. And again, same foundation, just completely different expression, right? They both have a Jupiter, but one wants to do an expansion through nurturing and depth and emotional resonance, and that would be Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer Jupiter brands grow by making people feel at home, by creating a sense of belonging that keeps people coming back. Sam's reach is not built on just volume, it's built on depth of transformation. People go through his program, do not just learn a skill, they're changing how they think and how to operate. That is Jupiter in Cancer's reach. It grows through the depth of the experience it creates. Now, how about Jupiter in Gemini? Well, this is something that expands through ideas, communication, and volume. Gemini really is one that of the brands that grow by spreading information through conversations, through content, through the sheer quantity of useful ideas they put out into the world. And Alex's reach is built out on output. He publishes constantly. He is everywhere. That is Jupiter in Gemini reach. They grow through the sheer velocity of ideas. And when you look at these two together, you start to really form the picture of what Skool looks like. Skool is a platform that combines depth of community with a breadth of content and conversation. The architecture of the platform reflects the architecture of these two individuals, right? While Alex didn't join until later, he is influencing this development of this platform slowly but surely. Now, what about credibility? All right, Saturn. In personal brand astrology, Saturn is all about the credibility. It shows your discipline, your standards, your structure, and your long term authority. Saturn answers the question of why should people take you seriously? What structure supports your growth? What part of your brand needs patience and mastery? Saturn's brand role is trustworthiness, systems, commitment, and expert status. Whereas Sam Ovens' Saturn is in Capricorn and Alex is in Sagittarius. So in Capricorn, it's in its home sign, the most disciplined placement possible. Sam's credibility is built on longevity and institutional quality. He's not building for a trend cycle, he is building for decades long work. Skool is not a viral product, it is a platform being built with the patience of someone who knows the real credibility takes time. That is beautiful Saturn in Capricorn. So, what about Saturn in Sagittarius? Well, this is something that builds credibility through philosophy and truth telling. Alex's authority does not come from credential, it comes from quality of his thinking. His books are not just motivational, they are philosophical frameworks for how value and growth actually take function, all right, how they actually function and work. He earns credibility by being right, by saying things that are true and useful, even when they are uncomfortable. Now, right is relative, right? What is right for him? And that is Saturn in Sagittarius. And together, these two build a structure that can last. The other builds the philosophy that guides it, and one, the Capricorn, builds it so it lasts. All right. So that is a complete way of working things, right? You need things to be in yin and yang for them to really vibe. And this is a beautiful combination for these two. So, why the collaboration works? So, sure, they both have their sun in Leos, the same brand center, the same authority, the same generous leadership. They both have Mercury and Virgo, the same voice, the same framework building instinct, the same content initiative of how they go about things. Where they diverge is in the Mars, right? Mars, Virgo is precise, methodical, whereas Alex's is more fast, bold, first mover. Jupiter in Cancer is different. Jupiter in Cancer is about depth, belonging, transformation. Gemini's Jupiter is about ideas, volume, and breadth. And then Saturn is here to give Sam credibility through structural long game, whereas Alex builds his credibility through philosophical truth telling. So the shared placements really create a yin and yang kind of alignment. They see the world the same way, but they speak the same language, and they build with the same precision, but really the divergent placements really help them to be complementary to each other. Where one is slow, the other is fast. Where one is refined, the other one's warm. Where one builds structure, the other builds philosophy. So this is how we can find helpers in our life or in our businesses that can bring about elements and energies that we lack, and therefore we can find and fill these holes that are lacking and obviously need support. So this is not just some a lucky partnership. This is a design one, right? They chose to start working together because they saw something in alignment with each other, something complementary that can they can work with together. So, what is this for you? All right. So, this is where we need to ask the question, because it's not just why does Skool work? This is what does your chart say about your brand? And here are the questions that I want you to sit with. Your sun. What is your sun sign in? What does it say about you and what you should be known for? What is your brand center? Mercury tells us, what does it say about your voice? What are you? Are you a framework builder, a storyteller, a debater? What is that? Mars will tell us about your edge. How do you launch? Sell, take action. Jupiter then says, how does this go about helping me to do my reach? What does it say about your reach? What big idea are you known for? Where does your audience grow? Saturn, well, the Saturn sign tells us, what does it say about your credibility? Why should people take you seriously over the long term? And you don't need to know all this about the astrology, but just even knowing a little bit helps you to understand your business blueprint. So, with that, friend, your brand is not a strategy, it's a blueprint, all right? I want you to understand that both Sam and Ovens and Alex Hormozi didn't just build a school because they are the same person. They built it because they are different people with the same foundation. They are working. And I know that Alex didn't build Skool. He has contributed to it at the later as it began, but they're obviously working together because they are seeing each other. They're reflected in each other's way of working, right? Their core sun and their Mercury, and they're building something that can be both, grounded and expansive. So they're complementary. So what you need to do, my friend, is think about how you want to move forward. Okay. Next week, we're going to be reading the chart for Gary Vaynerchuk. And I can't wait to share this because this is one of the charts where we do have a birth time and I can get into it much deeper. All right. He's a Scorpio sun, Scorpio Mercury, ascendant Virgo, and midheaven in Gemini. He's got a lot of intense energy and it makes for one that is a really great content creator. If so, yes, friend. If you want to go deeper on your own chart and how it maps to your brand and your business, your life, come join us in the Business Astrology Hub in Skool. This is the link is in the bio here in the description, questmystic.com/Skool. And if this gave you something, please share it with someone. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, get alerts so that we can start moving forward and sharing this beautiful knowledge with others. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.